we're in the Endgame now. And that's what I'm reviewing. This is going to be a spoiler-free review of Avengers Endgame. I will not spoil anything. This is going to be very difficult to try and do because some of the stuff that I want to talk about, it's spoilers. So I'm going to make this one, and probably tomorrow or the next day I'm going to make a spoiler review. So for now, you're safe. If you haven't watched Endgame yet, I know it just came out, and some people, they don't always go to the movie theaters every weekend, so you're safe here with me if you don't want any spoilers. So here we go. Tell me what I like, what I didn't like, and I will save any future thoughts for the spoiler review. So here we go. So what I liked about the movie, first of all, this movie has some really good acting. I mean, capital A acting in this. Robert Downey Jr. definitely brings his A game for this one, and you can tell that he is just really acting his ass off in this one, because there are a lot of good emotional scenes with him. He really brings it as a character, Tony Stark, and who has been through a lot. And you can tell with how he talks, the way he communicates with his body. It's very well done, and Robert Downey Jr. just acts his ass off. Just like Chris Evans does, he does a great job in this one too. And the way he presents the character of Captain America is pretty interesting. And some of the stuff that happens in the movie, I like their dichotomy as well. The way they interact with each other, it's very well done. And even Paul Rudd, who I think is a very bad actor, there are a couple of scenes in this one where he actually was trying, whereas I think in a lot of movies I've seen of him, he's not really trying at all. So it's good to see him not just coasting and riding the coattails of everybody else. Everybody else as well in the movie does a great job, and there's some really good acting. Also, the scope of this movie, the action sequences, the way the whole thing, the way it comes together is so well done, and it's a lot different than what I thought was going to happen. And I think I've said it before, I didn't watch any trailers for this movie at all. I didn't want to watch a single second of a single trailer for this movie. I just knew, I watched all the MCU movies leading up to this. I saw Infinity War, and I was like, okay, I gotta know what happens after this. So I stayed away from trailers, and I'm glad I did, because everything basically was like a really nice surprise. And I think if you didn't watch any trailers for this movie, or kept it to like one trailer, I think you're gonna go into this really being surprised by what happens in the movie, how it's done, and there's a lot of cool stuff that happens here. And as well as the villain of this movie, Thanos, is very well done. And he just like he was in Infinity War, he is imposing and intimidating, and you just dread when he shows up. So yeah, very well done with that. Also, I can't get into spoilers. So the character interactions are well done, and the story as a whole is really good. And there's a lot of good stuff to say about the movie, which I will talk about more in a spoiler review. Also, but what I didn't like was some of the action sequences. Marvel does this a lot, where it's cut too often. Kind of like with the Bourne movies or the Taken movies. There's too often, it's almost shaky camera at times. But when, see, the time where it like, so has it steady and you actually follow the action, is very well done. But when it's shaky camera, I don't like that. I don't like shaky camera. And I think also there are certain things, I mean, I can't really talk about that because that's a spoiler, so I'm going to try to cut this one kind of short. There are a few things I had issue with, and I have to do that in the spoiler review. So I'm sorry, this is kind of a short review. And as far as some characters, I thought they needed more, and some other characters I thought they needed less. So it's a weird balancing act, but for me at times I thought the balancing act was a little off, but for the most part done very well, especially with all the characters you're going to be juggling throughout this movie. But back real quick, what I did like is you saw progression in characters, which I'll talk about more in the spoiler review. And man, it's really tough to talk about this. Wow, I can see why other movie viewers actually have a lot of trouble with spoilers. But all in all, I think this movie is a great ending to the MCU. And I say ending because it is called Endgame, and also I think this is the movie that you could probably just end the MCU with right here and be fine with. But what would they do in the future? If they decided to do more, I'll talk about that in a spoiler review. But all in all, great movie. Definitely watch it in the theater. If you have a chance to watch it in 3D, if you want to see like the action and stuff like that done in 3D, there are certain elements where it could look pretty cool in 3D. I would suggest maybe watch it once in 3D, just see how you like it. And all in all, yeah, this is definitely going to be a one you gotta watch in the theater a couple of times, which I will. I'm going to watch it with some buddies this coming weekend as well. And man, I can't wait to watch it again. I walked out of this movie with a smile on my face, just excited, and it was I didn't felt that way since I watched Into the Spider-Verse back in December. So I was like, yeah, that movie kicked ass. That was awesome. And so, a very good feeling to end the MCU, if they end it here. Which they probably won't. But, hey, you can all just say this is where it ends. So, I'm not going to ask what you thought about it, because maybe people haven't seen it yet, but who's your favorite Avenger? That's what I'm going to ask. Who's your favorite Avenger? Mine is probably the tie between Hulk and Captain America. I like those two. Even though I have to admit, I took Tony Stark's aside in Civil War. By the way, great callbacks in this movie, which I will talk about more in the spoiler review. So, till then, until probably in a couple days, maybe tomorrow, take care. Bye.